All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
My Dress Up Darling, episode 3. Oh boy.
Last episode.
Yeah, just 2 episodes into this show, and we have already literally taken the measurements for the waifu and put them on display for all of the watching audience to screen cap and, take note of. And yes, but amidst all of that blushing and horny on Main for a very good reason, she did actually make the connection of why he was nervous. And she started to get a little flustered herself. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
Could there be something? Could this be love?
Can you feel?
I would very much like for them to have this slow but sure, little bits of attraction, little bits of interest, and little bits of, something. Just sparkling up.
Because one thing that I think we can count on from this cast is that, specifically the female lead Marin has no qualms with being upfront about things. So it's one of her defining characteristics right now.
An instigator.
Exactly. She's an instigator. And that gives me so much hope and excitement for what's to come.
Same. Yeah. So y'all, without further ado, let's instigate into this. Oh, is this the final result?
Oh, it's already done.
No way. What's with the background audio?
Is this a dream?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a dream.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, she wants me. Oh, no, because he's played the game now. So it's affected his mind.
Fuck me silly. Oh my god. I think you might have a thing for her, dude.
You're down bad. Please. Check your pants, man. You might need to change.
I'm pretty sure he needs to change. I think that's why he woke up.
Oh. Yep.
And it's looking at him all disappointed.
With judgment and disappointment. So he's either rubbing one out or he just needs to change.
Just clean up,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, let's see that title.
With me? Yeah.
Yeah, and not just in your house. In your house like that. Towards becoming...
He's apologizing! Hey,
no.
There you go.
Huh? These are all the girls from the OP.
Well, these are also the girls they were chatting about in the first episode. Chatting all together. Yeah. No! Yeah.
Oh, shit. Now all the insecurities come flooding back. Oh! Baka! Now, what does she think as a result of this?
She's gonna be like, what's
Why
the
have
deal?
you been avoiding me? Bruh. Yup.
Yeah. Talk about it.
You are acquainted.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Dumbass. Let's go out then. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Shopping. Let's go. And just like that, his childhood trauma melts away.
I mean,
Well, starts to.
not just like that. No. It'll take some time.
Layers, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That change in her voice.
Yeah. It's a chotomate. Okay. So
right.
yeah, you can handle that.
Ah.
Double.
What are you talking about? I'm buying this.
Oh shit. Wow.
Uh-huh. She really trusts you, dude.
Yeah. I think she's very self-aware of the fact that she could be putting on a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And thus, like, she got that money in preparation for when this conversation would come up.
Because she knew that he's the type of person that does things for other people when he doesn't have to and kind of shouldn't.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, wigs.
Wigs. Awesome. Wigs, like good ones, are fucking expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. You want to go with a little bit of excess length.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
Ah.
Very smart. I'm glad I didn't.
Because you were so hard to find.
Oh.
You're not a burden.
Mm-hmm. And what I love so much is that she's accepting every single one of his edits to her impressions about what would be the right call.
Oh, right.
I mean that she's showing that she... Yes.
Here we go. All right, now keep giving that really helpful feedback.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wait, couples?
The only guy here.
Yep. Oh my god. Bro, you've seen before.
And then after that, I'll show you something sexier. Thank you for the meal.
Yeah. What is this?
Oh my god.
What is this random
Who even is
side
that character? Yeah. That was incredible.
That was incredible, yeah. Mm-hmm.
影会とかスタジオを借りて撮影したり撮った写真を SNS に上げたりとかね。
ネットに上げちゃうんですか？
割と普通じゃない？ほら。わ、
すごい。
Nice.
あとこの人、ジュジュさん、マジ可愛くない？
Dang.
めっちゃ好きなんだよね。コスト写真のクオリティも半端ないから。
Uh-huh.
もえぐくて。
おいくつくらいの方なんでしょうか？
中学生。
Oh, maybe that's the girl in the OP, you know?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
黒髪好きですよね。
ゴジョ君もでしょ。
まあそう。
ずっと黙ってるけど、五条君的には綺麗じゃないの？
いえ、そういうわけじゃ。
じゃあ何？
俺一人っ子なんで、ひな人形はじいちゃんちで初めて見たんです。
Okay, yeah.
こんなに綺麗なものが世の中にあるんだって感動して。
Wow.
こういうもののためにある言葉なんだって思ったんです。あの日から俺にとって綺麗は特別なものに対する言葉になって、心から思った時でないと。
It's a special thing. You can't just...
Yeah.
五条君超面食いじゃん。
すみません。
How many episodes till he calls her beautiful?
I think it's something to put a pin in, just remember for when he ends
Yep.
up saying that it's like, wow, you're beautiful. What?
しかないんですけど。
That face!
Oh my god, that animation.
Yeah.
That was great.
バイト増やすか。
Oh,
Yeah.
やっぱり
shit, yeah,
払います。
お
No.
言ったじゃん。
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
私
でも
Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. Let's have this conversation. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
なんていうか。
Ah, so glad they're...
Yep, yep.
Yes.
これいいよって勧めても実際プレイしてくれる人ってあんまいなくてさ。
Uh-huh.
しかも五条くん制服半端なく細かいところまで書いてくれたじゃん。むしろ私より全然詳しくなってるし。だからしたかったんだよ。
Yeah. Yeah.
五条くんに。っていうかこの肉巻きマジうまい。
Oh, that's what that is?
Oh,
食べなよ。
Bacon wrapped
indirect
rice
kiss.
ball.
Let's go. Come on.
Yep.
関節キス。
Yes.
Ah!
本当にお腹いっぱいで。
今こいつめっちゃ食うなって思った。
He did! He did!
思ってません。
思ってる。これぐらいじゃ出番ないし。
そうだ。そのイベント。
Yeah, have you chosen what the event is? Yeah.
あった。今日
2 weeks. That is
not a lot of time.
ごめん。電車乗り遅れちゃうから先行くね。今日はありがとう。じゃあね、五条くん。
Bro is like panicking right now. He's like, I thought
2
you meant
weeks?
2 months.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
2週間後。
I don't think she knows.
No.
I don't think she
No.
knows.
Because what
I
was the
already know about cosplay, but I know how much
Months,
time.
even 2 months
2
is
months
short.
would be short. Yeah.
This show is a delight.
Yeah, I love this. I love this so much.
Yep.
We ended up getting probably one of the most important things out of the way really quickly in this episode.
Yep.
And we like tripled down on it to make sure that it was really, really properly focused on.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
something where like my hesitancy and reticency when I saw the
Reticency.
reticence, I guess reticency.
Right,
is
I
the
know
word.
what you meant.
Yeah, upon seeing Gojo like very much like backpedaling and pulling back and stuff, I'm like, no, show, don't go into melodrama. No.
No.
This is
Instigate communication.
this is to instigate communication,
Right.
and this is something where I feel like having a character that does this and having a main character that does this is far less of a problem, and to the point of actually being a benefit in a show like this,
Right.
because the other character in the dynamic will not put up with that shit.
Yep.
Right?
She's an aggressive instigator.
She's an aggressive instigator. She won't necessarily understand entirely why it's happening.
Correct.
they're not going to go into a conversation of, well, see, there was this other girl that ridiculed me for things, and that kind of traumatized me as a kid, and I don't really have any friends, so I don't want to make it be something where you end up hating me or putting pressure on you and all that stuff, right? They don't get into all of that.
For sure.
But it is resolved, right? It's gotten to the point where then he gets to the after pulling back all of that for all that time, he gets to the point where he is willing to let himself get pulled along, right? And be like, okay, let's go shopping and get clothes.
But it wouldn't have happened if she didn't pull him along. Now, the thing that's really just really cool about this is, while we've seen a dozen stories easily have the immediate backpedaling after some potential, like, really interesting progress on the romantic side of things, there wasn't actually really any romantic progress in the last episode if you frame it from her perspective. Because from her perspective, she definitely might have found him a little bit attractive or a little bit flustered in that instance there. But what she's finding here is a genuine connection with someone that will actually take interest in what she's interested in. So, therefore, everything that she's doing in this episode especially is showing that she is interested in him.
Right.
Not just interested in the times where he talks about, the Hina dolls, for instance. Not just interested in
getting him into Moi Girls or something.
Getting him into basically the shopping dates and what have you to spend time with him. But showing gratitude for the areas in which she can. And I really like this because a lot of stories romanticize obligation. And I don't find that a thing that is really that sexy or romantic or what have you, where it's like, I just have to do this for you. And it's like,
I feel like that could also potentially be like a Japanese culture thing of like reciprocity and stuff.
But that's more of what I'm talking about, is actually she's making things very reciprocal. It's actually, no, not that. It's that she is actually making this very transactional in a way that's like, hey, what are the things in which I can thank you with? Like, do you want to see something sexier? And he's like, no. He's like, okay, that's a bit loud. And then she's like, okay, fine. Here's a ramen, my treat. Is this good? Like, there's almost this feeling of where I think she's like, she's not sure entirely whether or not he's like finding this being sufficient for the amount of amazing stuff that he's already doing for her.
I feel like the distinction between the two types of transactional that can happen, that can be kind of good and bad, is the difference between should and want. So you can have a situation where someone is like, oh, I should do this because they've already done this for me, right?
Right.
And then that can be kind of like, okay, that can work, and it's nice that you're maybe being respectful. Okay. Whereas in this case, I really feel like with Marin, it's something where it's he's doing all this stuff for me. I want to do stuff that makes that can help make this as awesome of a time for him as it is for me, right? So
because she also has the perspective of what he's gone through. Yeah,
exactly. While she might be popular at school and things like that, and people are all like, "Whoa, wait, is she going out with him? She's totally out of his league. What's going on?" Right?
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to spend time with her, basically.
Right.
So he should be grateful for anything that she does with him.
Yep. But no, because she's not. She's getting a friendship that she has not been able to get up until now, right? She has not been able to actually share in these things. I would go out on a limb and say that a lot of the times when she is so excessively vocal about these kinds of passions with some of her friends, one, it's the tailoring it down to the kinds of stuff that they would be able to accept that we talked about in the previous episode. But also something where she maybe makes it a bit louder and a bit more energetic and stuff because she's used to it being one hand clapping, right?
Sure. I love that. That's a great descriptor.
So it's the in order to try and keep this as fun as possible, right? I need to be carrying all of the energy for it so that I can hopefully try and like showcase to them this awesome thing that I think is so wonderful. That I wish I could share with them, but but it's not really working out, right?
Yeah, there's a really narrow line, I would say, that Marin walks, or Kitagawa walks, is that when she's expressing her passion a lot of people can end up getting overwhelmed by the passion of a person there that is not inviting or doesn't feel like it's inviting the other people into their passion. An example of this is like her being like, let's go shopping.
Yeah.
She's saying, I want to go shopping with you. He doesn't necessarily say that he doesn't or does want to go shopping with her. So she kind of picks him up and drags him along.
And it's
that could be an example of him getting overwhelmed by her passion, and thus he doesn't feel like he can say no.
Right. And that's why the conversation of when she brings it up to him of like, hey, why are you avoiding me? Like it feels like you've been avoiding me. What's going on? That's her basically saying, I am now going to change my approach. I'm still going to walk up to him and like crouch down next to him and everything, and and all that stuff. But she doesn't at that point drag him along to go shopping.
Correct.
She checks in with him and she's like, how are you doing? What's up? What's going on? We still good?
Right.
Once that happens and she's like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go shopping. Come on. You want to go out with me? You know? And he's like, wait, what? And she's like, no, I'm messing with you. But that's not a problem for me. So don't worry about that, right? I like spending time with you. Let's go, dude. And they do. And it's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is one of my favorite examples of like showing a balanced relationship dynamic in a romance story with like high schoolers, while at the same time showcasing the various different levels of maturity and kinds of maturity for the characters, right? Gojo still has a lot of issues that he's working through, and as a result, he is very lucky to have this be going as well as it is. If it was someone other than Kitagawa, it wouldn't be happening, right? Because her particular kind of energy is complementary, right? It can cover up for the ways in which he would make things difficult and make it so that he would continue to have no friends, right? Because it's been working so far. And a lot of the times I feel like it's in romance stories in particular, because it's fiction, you can go with things that are spicy or interesting or whatever, but you wouldn't necessarily want them to be the way that your actual relationships went in real life, because it just wouldn't be good, right?
Well, right. The thing that I think is avoided a lot in terms of the romance stories, because this isn't a romance strictly right out the gate. Like, this is something where you have definitely an attraction that he has for her, and we make that very clear by the first scene in the episode.
Right.
But from her perspective, she's really primarily getting out of this a good relationship of passion, of the surrounding of basically the thing that he's not ridiculing her for, but he's also taking it rather seriously. So from that instance,
right. Regardless of the romantic attraction, if you look at what's literally happening, there's an overwhelming attraction, because what happened the next time you were at school?
Right.
Wherever you were, she was zipping around to where you were at. That is literally attraction, right?
Yeah.
She is physically being attracted to where you are, right? Even when she doesn't know where you are, she's then looking for you. So she is very much interested in you. There is definitely the possibility that it could be a romantic thing, given that she got all flustered in the previous episode.
True.
But at the very least, you have the fantastic foundation for a wonderful friendship with this person. And so, regardless of anything else that happens, that is a huge win. And she's even willing to push past some of the things that you would do that would make it difficult.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think what I kind of floundered in what I was trying to bring up earlier, but what I was trying to say is that I feel like in a lot of romance stories, they'll shy away from talking about the transactional aspects of a relationship, which is that people make trades, essentially, for little bits of, whatever. An example for this is that she trades, essentially, her time and excitement and all this stuff in her day for getting the opportunity to be with someone that's going to take her passion seriously and also work with her on this thing.
Right.
And thus, she, at every chance she can get, is offering some kind of thing for him to make this feel like a thing in where he's not being obligated to keep going. It's a way in which you can end up checking in on somebody, like you were saying earlier, to be like, hey, are you good? Are you good? but she's also not used to doing this, I would say. Logically, it makes sense that she wouldn't be used to this because she's never been in this kind of situation with somebody where the transaction was not surrounding the same commodity. Now, I'm going to bring up what I mean by that. She is trading something in exchange for something entirely different than what he's giving.
Yep.
He is giving the expertise in this area, which will help her then be able to cosplay.
Something that she would not reasonably be able to rely on getting if not for that.
Exactly. Thus, the things that she offers in exchange for that, little jokes about, ooh, something sexy, or, oh, here's ramen, or, oh, you want a bite of this, you know?
Yeah.
Little things that are whatever is conveniently available at the time that she has, meaning it's an overflow of her heart. She's not trying to judge whether the merit or value is there. All that she knows is that she feels so overwhelmingly blessed by what he's doing for her that she's like, is there literally anything I can do? And thus, from his perspective, he is not seeing it as something that he necessarily deserves because all of his interactions of this regard are based on obligation. Thus, it's really awkward for him to say yes to these things.
And he doesn't value the expertise that he brings to the table because
Exactly.
his trauma revolves around someone ridiculing his passion. So when his passion is actually being respected and valued,
yes,
it's alien to him. It's anathema. It's not just that it feels uncomfortable. He doesn't even really understand that it's happening.
Nope.
So, you know, naturally he thinks that all these things that she's doing are kind of like one-sided, right? When in reality, it's like, no. She's like,
and that's why they had the conversation on the bridge. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And it's to the point that I would say a lot of the things that she's been doing have been very general kind of things. Food, oh, you want to see something sexy, all of that stuff, right? Because he has not been communicating of the kinds of things that he values in that she could potentially help him out with, right?
But he has given her a little bit.
He has given her a little bit.
She knows about the Hina dolls.
Yep.
She knows not just that he likes Hina dolls, but that he loves Hina dolls.
Right.
So there are ways in which she could surprise him.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to that moment or time or what have you.
Because right now it's something where he is a lot of the transactional aspects that he's getting is not actually from the food. It's from the fact that he is able to share his artistic passions with somebody and they are accepting it and encouraging it and things like that. And that is perfectly valid and good and healthy and wonderful.
Yes.
The thing is that for someone who isn't used to standing up for himself, it can be very easy to use that as kind of a carte blanche excuse, whatever, and say that you are actually getting something transactional and everything when she is not. When you're not. And she doesn't actually, and for that specifically, it's great that she's doing it, but it doesn't necessarily have to come from any place of effort for her because he's giving her the expertise thing, right? So of course she'd be excited about that,
and
right?
This is the part where we can get into some so amazing like communication stuff in their relationship before it goes into any kind of like dating or anything like that. Is just the idea of like, hey, I understand that you've had people essentially ridicule you for your passion. I've never really had that because people just liked me. So they would kind of put up with my passions. But that hurts too.
Right.
When you
It's lukewarm.
feel like when you bring up your passion, people just kind of go, yeah, cool, whatever. And they just treat it like it's nothing when it's everything to me.
Yep.
And I would love for her to have that moment where she's like, this time you spent with me is everything. It is so much more than nothing. So little things of her potentially messing up here, like in this instance of saying, we're gonna do an event in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's just like, fuck!
Yeah.
I would love for her to have that moment where he like tries really hard to like get it done in 2 weeks.
And it's
Can't
not working.
do it. He gets like 60% of it done. And then she's just like, oh shit. And like she like freaks out thinking like, oh my god, I didn't think about you at all in this instance. And then they can both have that conversation of like, no, let's come together over this. Let's talk about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Boundaries are good.
And
like
I would love to see the realization, even potentially before the deadline, of like, oh, I didn't realize what I was asking. Okay, what can I do? Like, you know, like getting like her like going full like, all right, I'm gonna try and line everything up for you as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, like all of that stuff. Will they make it in 2 weeks? Through anime shenaniganery, maybe, you know?
Yeah, that would be cool if they did that. I would almost like it, though, if he brings up boundaries, if she tried to do anything like that, of like, I'm sorry, can you do this? No. Can you do this? No. Can you do this?
Right.
What's that?
I'm very willing, but I am, I don't know how.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, I would almost like if it was a thing of where it'd be like, actually, Kirigawa or Marin, the thing that would be most helpful is if you didn't visit me during this time here, because you're really distracting and I can't be focused and get this stuff done. And so like this is just a thing that as an introvert I would very much like, my heart would squee if I saw this, but
I need my me space.
I need my me space, exactly. And then she respects that and like comes over and like leaves something nice for him at the door, and then just walks away and leaves.
That she already has all the makings of like best girl and everything. If that happened, it would just be like,
yeah. Because I just want to say the things that I can tell that they're already setting up here is that she is doing I am an extrovert and I claim this introvert. This is my introvert.
I'm gonna keep you. Yeah.
There's something that can be very toxic about this.
Yes.
Extremely toxic. And I don't need to go into the details as to what it is, but you can already tell by the word claim being used. So, I would like to have an instance where...
And just interjection, that's where a lot of anime tend to go with this kind of trope. And
it's really gross in some instances. And I would like it to be a thing of where he's like, okay, what do you want more? Do you want to spend time with me, or do you want this done in 2 weeks?
Sure.
And then she's like, okay. She's like, well, how about we go to a different event then? It's like, that's fair. That's fair. Right. Like, I would love to have those kinds of boundary talks brought up, because her main flaw, I would say, like her main flaw is boundaries. It's something where in the aspect of wanting people to be excited for her things that she's excited about, it requires a little bit of understanding that people are not going to share that passion. So that means it's okay that like a lot of people just don't care about that stuff.
And to be fair, she's been doing a really good job so far of being conscious of that fact. And that is huge, right? Because awareness of the potential problem is way bigger of a deal than like not having the problem in the first place.
Right, for sure. And thus, since she's now in the situation where she then sees someone that is then interested in her passion and stuff, that means that her next step of that is to make sure she doesn't smother that person and kill them, you know, with her passion and excitement and stuff. And while I would say that Gojo is very much he wouldn't mind being smothered by her, you know, everyone has limits, and too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
And even if he were to be totally okay with it, that wouldn't necessarily be the place where he would grow.
Right.
And that's something that I would very much like to see be gotten into because this episode felt like it focused a lot on the like his personal like not self-confidence self-esteem.
Yes,
and
for sure.
And how that can cause trouble for the people around you. And one of the things that I would love to see gotten into here is since he sees her gifts as being like, you know, oh, I need to make this more balanced because he doesn't value what he brings to the table and his expertise. I would love to see the point be brought up where it's hey, I get that you don't value this thing, and that's fine. We're different people. But when you belittle the thing that I value because you don't value it, it can seem like you're just doing it because you're being humble or whatever, because it's what you're providing.
Right.
But I value that, and that doesn't feel good.
No.
It's not helpful. It's not the selfless thing that you think it is. It's actually kind of being selfish with your own self-consciousness.
Yeah.
And you don't need that. And I feel like that is a conversation that absolutely could be brought up with the way that the characters
we've set up so many good things potentially like that.
Like this,
in some ways, almost as long as this doesn't become a quick romance all of a sudden. I think the speed at which this show actually becomes a romance determines how many of these conversations we get to have.
Yeah, because right, and you could totally have these post-romance, but right now they're doing a fantastic job of setting up the foundation of how the relationship works before you then add the icing on top that is romance. So, yeah.
But yeah, bro, she did try to give you an indirect kiss. And she is well versed in culture, so you know that she is. She is thinking about that kind of. And I also really like, just in general, a girl in anime that actually likes her own sexuality and her own sensuality.
Oh my god! Like and
like just is aware of the fact that you want to see something sexy, like. I'm cool with that. I feel safe around you. Right. We're not in a relationship, but it's a little bit of flirting. And I would say that it is quite rare in anime to have the girl characters actually flirt.
Yep. And
for whatever fucking reason.
Because blush dere gets on the nerves after a while. But two, most of the time when you have female characters in anime that are comfortable with their own sexuality, they're kind of hypersexual, right? It's the...
there's no nuance to it.
Right. And the thing is...
That's their shtick.
Hey, that can be totally fine, right?
Yeah,
that I would still say that's nice and refreshing to see because, the opposite is so inundated in anime and things like that, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it doesn't need to just be that. It doesn't need to be a shtick. It doesn't need to just be a thing for comedy, right? It can just be a part of how the person exists and lives their life.
Right.
And that's just a normal thing.
Yeah, it's just cool seeing that for the female characters, whereas it's usually a thing that the guys primarily do in anime. So... that's that. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.